Rocket program mini course, you get the Rock Your Sales Retreat, which is an extra, and then you get the Make Money with Your Message course. And for those of you that are jumping in today, I know we've had Lisa jump in, Lauren Gale just jumped in, Vanessa Boyer just jumped in. For those of you that are jumping in today, we wanted to thank you for taking quick action and gift you a couple more trainings. So my team and I grabbed a training that we know is just going to really make a difference for those of you that want to fill events, because we know that for those of you that want to fill virtual events, you probably want to fill live events too. Pop a yes in the chat if that's you, that you want to do live speaking and virtual speaking. So I'm going to get you this bonus training on the 13 ways to fill your live rooms. This is a super hot training to support you to fill live events, retreats, workshops. And I think this is really going to support you. And that's for those of you that jump in today before we hang up the line. And for those of you that jump in today, pop a yes in the chat if you've ever heard of somebody, or maybe you yourself has gotten shut out of social media. Maybe you've been in Facebook jail, or your Instagram account got shut down. So there's a lot of things you can do to avoid that happening. And I recorded a training on how to avoid social media shutdowns and Facebook shutdowns. And we'll get you that as well for those of you that jump in today. And for those of you that are jumping in or that have jumped in, you're going to get these bonuses too. So if you jumped in yesterday or the day before that, don't worry, we'll get you these extra bonuses. For every one of you that joins us for the training, we are also going to be planting a tree in honor of your speaking career and in honor of a healthy planet for all. And we also allocate a percentage of our profits for this program and all our programs to stand in solidarity with the Girl Power Project in Uganda and help girls stay in school and avoid childhood pregnancies. And we help them become entrepreneurs. A couple more things you should know about the Profitable Speaker Training is that we've launched thousands of female speakers. We've supported over 5,000 women from over 100 countries. In the last, sorry, my internet just glitched out. I think you guys can still hear me. In the last 18 months, we had over 875 successful events taking place on our campus that generated hundreds of thousands of dollars for our clients. And for those of you that are jumping in, you can try the Profitable Speaker Training Program risk-free. If after working the program and completing the coursework for 14 days, you decide the program isn't for you, just let us know and you will receive a full refund. All right. Nice deep breath, everybody. Once again, there are 2 payment options, one-time payment of $2,997 or 3 payments of $1,077. And I'm going to invite you to head over to womenrockingbusiness.com/profitable speaker and let our coaches know what you're thinking. Let them know what your questions are. We would be absolutely so honored to have you. And I want to remind you that you really were born for this. You really were born for this. To not let any of those voices in your head, to not let those Miss Beckerman voices in the head that I talked about at the beginning of this training, do not let them hijack you from your dreams. This program works. And your dream and your skill set is good enough, or you wouldn't be here. You've been with us over 2 hours. If you're on the replay, that speaks its own level of commitment and power. If you've been watching this replay for 2 hours, if you've been here taking advantage of this training, what I know is that you have a gift to give. And we're living at a time where it's even more important that we get out of our own way and say yes to that which is waiting for us. Deborah, it's been such an honor to be here with you today. I'm so excited to support those of you that are jumping in. And I want to just, again, let you know that there's a lot of things that we can all be doing with our time. And I think back to the choices that I've made that landed me in this life that I'm in now. I think back to that event that I almost didn't show up for because Miss Beckerman had filled my head with voices and stories of lies about success and how hard it was and that this wasn't going to work for me. I think back to where I'd be if I had bought into that story. I think back to how scared I was. And I think about the life I wake up into this morning. And I was playing with my puppy down on the beach this morning. And I got to come home and give my fiance a big hug and walk by the ocean and be living in this life and this community that is my dream. It's my absolute dream. And I truly hope from my heart to yours that if this is something that you see for yourself, you will say yes to yourself today. That you will take a breath and conjure that courage to say yes to yourself today. Because as we make these decisions, we're either making a decision to get ourselves supported or to wait and think about it. And what I know is that waiting and think about it can actually rob us of that momentum, that speed that Krista was talking about. She said success loves speed. There's a lot of wisdom to that. When we think about things too much and when we're in our head too much, some of us have even been talking about how thinking about things too much and being in our heads too much can actually cause disease. And it can certainly slow down our success. And I know the feeling of taking that step and feeling that support up underneath us. And if you're craving that feeling of support, it would be my honor to support you with that decision today so you can celebrate the clients and the business that you're moving toward. I know in a moment we're going to bring one of you up for a breakthrough session. Before we do that, Deborah, anything to add?
I'm just feeling so touched by all of your incredible beings here as I'm scrolling through and I see Sonia and Yamil, and I've been seeing Elise so present in here with us, and Rachel, and I see you, Nancy, I see your wings are expanding, you're stretching into this moment right here, right now. I see your ecstasy and stretching into this moment. And I just want that for all of you. I want you to give yourself the gift of stretching into this moment. It's no small thing when life puts in front of us the answer to our prayer, right? And we've got to be the one who says yes when life puts in front of us that thing that is literally what we've been asking for. And like Sage was saying, our mind can get in the way so frequently. We'll second guess it. Oh, that's not the sign I was asking for, right? And what if this is it? What if this truly is the thing that could make the biggest difference for you, for your business, for your potential clients who are waiting for exactly what you have to offer? Andrea and Par and Bibi and Riasa and Sandra, right? What if this is the sign? I see you, Linda and Janice and Debbie, right? Really letting yourself feel the magic of life, the way that that you saw in your Facebook feed. There was the ad, there was Sage's face, there were the 3 tips you need to fill events. You need to learn how to communicate. You need the foundation, you need the structures. And that's what we're here for. We are here to give you those structures. So I just feel really honored to be by your side, Sage, and to be with you all as you give yourselves this moment, this opportunity to consider taking that action, to seeing the sign, to saying yes to it, and just seeing yourself as the person in the seat, like Crystal or Yulia today, that a year from now, it's you up there saying, oh my goddess, 2 months into Sage's program, and I got my first $5,000 event or my first $10,000 event. I'm so happy. I can wash, rinse, and repeat the event that I did, that first profitable speaker training program, because I got the tools that I needed. So drop a yes in the chat if you want to be sitting where Yulia and Crystal were sitting today. Yeah, drop a yes in the chat if you know that you're here to change lives and you just need some support to get in front of the right people and know what to say to them to help them say yes to themselves. So That's what I got in this moment, Sage.
I
And
love it. I love it. I love it. I am so excited to bring one of you up to the virtual stage. So think about whether you would like to come up while we're still live streaming and whether you'd like to be the one who gets a breakthrough on behalf of all the women who are still here. And I do want to invite you, as we're coaching you, to head over to the page. And if you haven't already, you can click on this. See this little blue button in the very lower right-hand corner? Do you guys see this? When you click on that, a chat box is going to pop up and you're going to be able to chat with coaches right there. Okay. So it's in the lower right-hand corner of the Profitable Speaker page, womenrockingbusiness.com/profitable speaker. Click in the lower right-hand corner and it's going to welcome you to live chat. And we do have coaches standing by. So take a nice deep breath and reach your arms out wide. I see you, Nancy, making more room. I'm going to invite you to give yourself a big hug for all of the learning and growing that you're already doing just by still being here. It's a marathon. And again, one more time, raise your hand and let me know loud and proud if you are ready to have a breakthrough on behalf of all of the sisters here. Kaya, we got to bring you up. What is going on over there? You got enthusiasm just leaking out of you. How can we support you? What's your biggest question?
My biggest question is, if anyone ever asked me, what can you do? Like, who are you? What do you do? I really felt it that I can help anyone with anything at any time. So my challenge is saying no to people, because I have, maybe when I was born, because my mother wanted a son, because a son validates a woman in those days, in the 60s, is that fear of rejection. I have to be someone. I don't want ever to be the person to say no to anyone, because I know what it feels to be said no to. And being invisible, being unheard, being not understood. Mm-hmm. And I know how powerful I am, because I do live in the matrix. I see things before they happen. I hear things before anyone says it. And I downplay myself. I'm like, oh, I don't want to say this. And like once somebody asked, so what do you really do? And I said, oh, I do spiritual surgery. And he says, you can't say that stuff. You'll scare people and nobody will ever come to you. So things like that, always downplaying, so I can be this nice person who will do this nice thing for this nice person and get a little bit of money and pay my rent. And I'm fucking tired of paying my rent. Like, sorry, like 20 years ago, when I used to work as an engineer in 1999, in the previous century, I was making 6-figure income. And so my greatest fear is the fear of asking, oh, I don't want to trouble anyone. Let someone else get it. And today I'm like, no. Because you have been saying something, Sage. You are receiving this breakthrough on behalf of everyone else who's over here. So everyone who showed up was an extension of me. Everyone you helped with, you helped me by helping them. And I'm sure there were so many others who were being helped. And for the first time, I went into a community and I was cheering people and listening to their stories. I'm like, man, these are real people. These are real people who do real stuff. Yeah. And I'm so happy to be here. And for 20 years, I must have hired at least 80 mentors. Because I know I can't do this by myself. I'm an engineer. I'm a physicist. I'm a mathematician. So in this world, and when you say I did Reiki, I did yoga, I went like, oh my God, she sounds like me. And when I was signing up for the program, because I was in the background, trying to get my daughter's credit card to sign up, I always do that. I was like, and you screamed into this thing, like I heard you so loud and clear, and don't stay in a job for the sake of insurance. And the first year I had Cobra, and I was like, why do I pay $700 a month when I don't even use $70 a year? I let go of that. So for 22 years, 23 years, I have had zero insurance, and I'm fine.
Okay. We got to do some work here. You ready? Let's give some love to Kaya in the chat. There is so much love for you in the chat. BB says, Kaya, you're in the right place. Patty says, Kaya, the right people will understand you when you tell them what you do. So many women are relating to you, thanking you for your courage. Thank you, Kaya, for speaking the truth. I'm tired of not being able to pay my rent. I'm tired of not having enough money. I'm tired of not feeling like I can confidently say the thing I want to say. I'm going to invite you all to hold your hands out to Kaya for a moment. And if it feels right, just let yourself make a noise behind your computer of how that feels. The enough, I've had enough, I've had enough. In fact, go ahead and unmute yourself. Let's unmute ourselves and make a noise that represents I've had enough. Kaya, would you be willing to join us?
Yes.
Okay, nice deep breath, everybody. On the count of 3, unmute yourself and make the growl, make the noise. This is a safe place to do that, or we're holding as safe of a container as we can. 1, 2, 3. Ah. Ah. Why can't I hear you guys? You guys have to unmute yourself and make some noise. 1, 2, 3. Ah.
Ow!
We've had enough. We have had enough. We have had enough. We have had enough. I still feel like I can't hear people. Are you guys actually unmuting yourselves?
If I can,
Do we have to actually invite you all to unmute?
Here, I got it. Let's see if that helps.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
On the count of 3.
Now it works.
Here we
It's a new day.
This girl.
Day. New day.
You got this.
We can do this. We can do this.
You can do it.
You're welcome.
Nice breath, everybody. Nice deep breath. Nice deep breath, everybody. Nice deep breath. Okay, I'm going to invite you to unmute yourself. In the upper right-hand corner, I'm going to invite you to go back to gallery mode. Turn your video cameras on if you're still here. Lean toward the camera. Look into each other's eyes and just give a little nod if you want to let all the women here know that she's not alone with that feeling. She's not alone in that feeling of enough. She's not alone in the frustration and the anger and the rage and the stress and the overwhelm that happens as we embark on these lives, period. We are going to be working and we are going to be stretching and we are going to be feeling pain, whether we build these businesses or whether we don't. We are either working to build our dreams or we are working for somebody else. And so take a nice deep breath, because this anger, this rage, this frustration that you feel, this is life force energy. When you repress your anger, you are also repressing your creativity. Those two energies come from the same energy center in the body. And so we have to be willing to move the energy. We have to be willing to feel the feelings. That's where our power comes from. And so, Kaya, you said a lot of really important things that I think a lot of women here can relate to. So let's all take a nice deep breath, feel your feet on the ground, and feel that as we feel our feelings and as we allow that energy to flow, that also gives us more access to our feeling of being resourced, our feeling of our heart opening, our feeling of access to our creativity. You said, first of all, that you don't want to ever have to say no to anybody, that your mom wanted a son and that you were born a girl. And I want to say, thank God that you came out a girl, that you came out female. Look at how powerful you are. Look at how beautiful you are. Look at that smile. Look at that radiance. Look at that gorgeous necklace around your neck. Look at that woman who was making 6 figures in the 90s and who has over the years said, I want to be doing something else. There's something bigger coming through me. I'm a spiritual mentor. I'm not going to say no to that. I'm going to say yes to that. And so Deborah and I are here to remind you that you never have to say no to anybody if they're coming for your business, just because you choose a niche. Okay. Pop a yes in the chat if you can relate to this, or replayers, place your hand on your heart if you're feeling this. That just because you choose a niche doesn't mean you have to turn people away. Okay. Just because you choose a message or an audience or a masterclass title doesn't mean that if somebody reaches out to you and says, hey, like, would you be able to help me with this thing? If you can help, absolutely. You can absolutely still take them on as a client. I was a niche switcher. I had 3 different niches in the course of 1 year's time. And I was making money in all 3 niches. So first of all, I'm going to invite all of you to take a breath of that you don't have to turn people away. You can still help. And second of all, I want to remind you that you're all here for a big, huge reason. I have a couple more things I want to share for you, Kaya, with you, but how are you feeling?
For the first time, I cried in public. Even when my mother died, I did not cry in public. And I was holding her hand.
Thank you. Thank you.
Because big girls don't cry, remember?
Yeah. Fuck that.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. The soul would have no rainbows if the eyes had no tears. We have to move the energy. We have to let ourselves feel the feelings. That's the only way that we're going to have our channel open enough to get past the fears. Deborah, do you have anything to add?
I'm just feeling so much potency in this moment, Kaya. I want to speak to the power of the words you spoke around. We get this transformation. The person who's here having this moment is the ambassador for all of us. So I want to say thank you for your willingness to be vulnerable, to tell the truth, to acknowledge the parts that have had enough and that are ready. And what I'm hearing is the parts that are ready to be paid well for giving your gifts. I heard, I don't want to say no. And I also heard, I'm tired of only being able to pay my rent. And so I'm speaking a word right now for this moment that you're creating an opportunity for every single woman here alongside you, including you, to embody greater belief in themselves, greater ability to receive being paid what they deserve. You getting paid what you deserve. So I want to say thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to both of you and everyone, all my sisters here, and all those on the replay mode. Thank you.
You have a calling to do spiritual mentorship. I don't think that's an accident. I think you are a spiritual mentor, and I think that you do spiritual surgery on people. And I think the right people are not going to be afraid when you say that. I think the right people are going to be attracted. Who here would agree with me? Because there are so many women who are waking up spiritually, and so many humans who are waking up spiritually and have felt those same feelings that you do of undeserving. So many women you can help with your story.
I only say the nice stories. I only say the nice stories. My worst stories were from my 30s, you know?
Yeah.
And for the first time in that 2-minute video, I spoke about my dark nights.
Wow.
In a sequence, everything that happened. For the first time I shared it.
Well done.
It is still not public yet.
Well done. And so, sweetheart, have you thought about who these women might be if you were to niche down just again as a project, as a class to get started, to get to that 6 figures? Working moms. Yeah. I was going to say, because you were
but older than 30. I don't want teenage moms and in their 20s, because in our 20s we still think, oh, I can do this, you know?
Yeah, working moms, 30 and above, 40 and above, something like that.
30 and above, because those were my hardest years of my life, and I want to help. And that's when I had the job. I want to help those moms. Yeah. Because when people beat up men, and I'm like, I love men. They are my brothers, my father, my uncles, my friends, my sons. And if we are beating up a man, that man was raised by a woman. So we need strong mothers so we can have strong children, strong citizens.
And raise strong humans and men and boys and girls and those who might not identify as a boy or a girl. We need them all. We need them all. And we need our moms to be supported, because our moms are on the front lines I love this for you. It sounds like you're clear. I absolutely could see you putting together a mentorship program for working moms that brings in the spiritual, that brings in the mindset, that brings in strategies, like grounded strategies of how to actually cope as a working mom. And, you know, if you had a program that was $497 a month or the equivalent of something like $500 a month, and you had 20 moms, that gets you to your 6 figures. Just 20 moms.
Yeah, and
I think-
self-compassion, because people use self-love without understanding compassion. You know, just to be compassionate towards that inner child. And how many abandoned, orphaned kids we walk around with?
Exactly. Exactly, Kea. Thank you for all that you've been through that has brought you to this moment of raising your hand and being the first one to raise your hand like 2 hours ago and being so on the edge of your seat to get up here. I had my eye on you earlier, and I just want to say you inspire me.
Thank you. And here, I even cooked while being on this call.
You're so
And
cute.
when you said, you know, you should get your own chef, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I need a chef, because I love cooking for myself.
Good. Well, maybe we'll get you a bunch of extra massages or body work or flights to amazing places.
I would want to invite you, Kea, to when you eat that incredible meal you just made for yourself, that as you're eating that, you actually eat the intent to embody the full knowing that you deserve to be paid well to share your gifts.
Thank you.
I so deserve to get paid so well to give my gifts. Will you
And
do
I
that?
want to invite all of you to think about like, what would be the thing that what would you indulge in? I mean, when I started my business, I just wanted to be able to get body work once a week. Like I just wanted someone else to help me take care. I just had all kinds of body problems. I had scoliosis, I had chronic respiratory infections, and I just wanted access to be able to afford healers and body workers, you know, so just tap into like what is it for some of you? It's personal chef. For Kea, your blessing is you're eating, but like for you, Kea, what would you love to be able to afford if money weren't an issue?
Fly first class with my friends.
I love it. I love it. Let's do
Yes.
it. Let's all fly to one of our next destination retreats together. And Kea, man, that grin and the power coming through you, you are a truth teller. And I know when you unleash yourself through these events, you're going to rock it. And so it sounds like you already jumped into the Profitable Speaker Training Program. Is that right?
Yes.
What are you most excited about?
To finally do it. When I started off as a hypnotherapist, I was like, because I was in corporate and where there were these speakers who would come and do project management, and I used to do. So when I started, I was like, man, that is what I should be doing. But at that time, 20 years ago, my energy was going into picking up my kids and dropping them off and cooking fresh meals for them and getting their homework done. And 20 years.
Amazing. Amazing, Kea. You have earned this next chapter. You have earned it. And I know that you are going to be able to put a stake in the ground for these working moms in the way that you wish somebody had been able to do for you years ago, that all those years of figuring it out are going to pay off.
Oh, and the two lies. Spiritual people should not ask for money. And the other one just slipped my mind. But spiritual people should not have these two things. Should not ask for money
and should not try to be known or speak up. It's not spiritual to speak up. It's not spiritual to be too loud. It's not spiritual to have money. Well, let's challenge that one for a little bit. Cause Oprah's not spiritual.
She is amazing.
Right? What is Oprah worth? Like, right? I mean, what is it like? Look it up. Oprah's worth a lot of money, right?
All the ammas and babas who come to America, everyone is rolling in gold and silk and walking only on rose petals and flying first class, Emirates or British Airways.
Yes.
It takes a lot of money to go through their doors to keep them poor.
Amen. And a woman to that. You have, I'm so excited. I'm excited to support you over the next 9 weeks. Let's do this, Kaya. Thank you for standing for every woman here with your breakthrough. Papa yes in the chat if Kaya just stood for you. Yes, Oprah is a billionaire. Yes, Deepak Chopra is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Yes, however you think about these humans, we're standing on their shoulders. They're some of the most incredible spiritual leaders that have allowed themselves to receive. So any part of you that thinks it's spiritual to be small, or it's spiritual to not stick your neck out, or it's spiritual to not ask for money, we're going to challenge that right now. Thank you so much, Kaya. You are an absolute inspiration. There is so much love for you in the chat. Kiss for Kaya. I'm just loving this conversation. Kaya, I'm so glad you came up. Thank you for your courage. I'm seeing women reaching for the tissues. I can feel the replayers' hearts being opened by this, this particular moment in our training, this breakthrough. And I want to just speak a word for those of you that were putting notes into the chat around the things that you'd really love to be able to afford. The putting your kids through college, the being able to take your family on a vacation, being able to send your kid to summer camp, being able to fly first class, being able to afford weekly body work or massage or acupuncture or healers, being able to travel around the world, being able to just take long weekends or have long, luxurious morning practices. And I want to put a stake in the ground that that's all possible. That's all part of this. That building a speaking business is also a vote in honor of your freedom. It truly is. So Papa yes in the chat if you are willing to keep those dreams close at hand as you make this decision, take this risk, stretch into this next chapter, because we don't necessarily continue to feel drawn to taking big risks or walking through things that make us afraid if we don't think we're not going to get anything out of it. Like, you get to win too.
So beautiful, Sage. And I just also know that when we walk away from this energy, it's hard to imagine when we're alone in our own offices, creating content by ourselves, that this is possible. So I want to invite you all, while you're here in the field, to let yourself go, oh, actually, it feels so good. If it feels good to you to be with these women, to lift each other up, to see how many women just lifted Kaya up who could resonate. You do not have to continue to build your business alone. It is absolutely 100% true. We go further, faster together. And this Women Rocking Business is a paradigm shifting experience for most women. Most of us did not grow up in environments, homes, schools, dorms, sororities, workplaces where women were lifting each other up. We have grown up in a world where that competition between women was predominant. And this experience is the antithesis. We are the opposite, the polar opposite of the social norm of women's relationships. This is a place where you get to be lifted up, seen, recognized, celebrated for being the incredible, magnificent woman you are here to be, the incredible, magnificent person you are here to be. We want to hear you brag. We want to hear you celebrate. Sage, I just want to acknowledge you for being a woman who's taking a stand for women doing this together and bringing these sisters up today like you did so that we could all celebrate their successes in real time. And that's one of your core values, this lifting each other up. And so I would just want to take this moment to be with all of you with our hearts open and our arms open and our hands open to welcome you into the new paradigm of building your business, of a completely different kind of mentorship. Kay was talking about having hired 80 mentors in the past. I can't tell you how many women I have spoken to who, when they land here with us, take a big breath and are like, finally, this is what I've been looking for literally decades. And so you're here now, and I'd be so honored to get to be one of the women coaching you, training you, supporting you to bring those beautiful dreams of yours into the world to have the impact you're here to have.
And I'm just being so touched by your hearts. I saw many of you posting, some of you posting in the chat that you want to be able to help your families. You want to be able to help bring healing to your families. You want to be able to help your siblings or your family members that are struggling with illness or disease or cancer. We're just lifting you all up. Let's take a collective breath into that and raise your hand up if it feels right and just send love out into the sisterhood, into the network of powerful, incredible leaders here. And I think about who my brother has become because I've been able to help support him with training and breakthrough opportunities and education and sobriety opportunities, and to not enable him, but to support him when he needs it. Those are two very different things. And I have seen him now stepping up and him now calling me and asking how I'm doing, that he's resourced enough to call his sister and say, "How are you, Sage?" That is what's possible when we stand for each other. And that's what's possible when we say yes to our own abundance, right? That we can reallocate. Money's like a tool. It's like a hammer. We can use it to build a house. We can use it to tear down a house. We want more money in the hands of women with big hearts. That is what's going to turn this world around. So it's such an honor to support every single one of you. Congratulations, those of you that are jumping in to the Profitable Speaker Training Program. I receive all of that love. Thank you all for the love that you're giving us and the team and myself in the chat. I want to welcome Lauren Gale to the program. Vanessa Boyer, welcome. Shannon Grace Clark, welcome. We're so excited to support you. Erica Byrne, welcome. Barbara Anderson, welcome. Jill Joris, welcome. Parshala Wood, welcome. Jacqueline Bullard, Angela Green. I don't know if I'm saying your names right. I want to welcome every single one of you that has said yes over the last few days. And it's not just going to be Deborah and I waiting in the Facebook group to congratulate you and welcome you. We've got 80, 90 something now women over there waiting to welcome you into the Profitable Speaker Training community. So we are going to be hanging up the line in about 20 minutes at the top of the hour. And we want to let you know that in order to receive some of those bonuses, we do invite you to jump in today. The bonus that's going to help you understand how to use social media correctly and not end up getting put in social media jail. It sucks when you don't have access to your social media account. It's a horrible feeling, and I want to help as many of you as possible prevent that. And that extra training on how to fill your live rooms. 13 proven ways to fill live speaking engagements. It's an awesome training, and you'll get that when you jump in before the top of the hour. So we are going to say goodbye to our replayers. Thank you so much for being with us and for holding Kea in your hearts in the same way that all the women here on Zoom held her in their hearts. And we hope that that breakthrough was of service to you. So thank you, replayers. You're amazing. You've been here over 2.5 hours. Absolutely. Thank you for being in this community. And we're going to say goodbye to the replayers. Stay on Zoom for a couple more Q&A sessions. Take a nice deep breath, everybody. We're going to dance it out for just a moment, reach our hands out to the replayers and just say thank you for being with us, even though you can't be here live. We see you.